Now we get to J.J. McCarthy. He's number 5 on my list. J.J. does a lot of things well, and I don't think that he was able to showcase them all because of the philosophy and schematics that Michigan wanted to play with. Now, the dude is totally unselfish, and he's a winner. You cannot argue with that. He did not care who got the credit. He just wanted to win. And that's the type of quarterback that other players are going to respect. And so, for me, at least, he's going to walk into the NFL, and guys are going to know that about him. And if he has that mentality in the National Football League, they will respect it. And he will win because of it, because he's got elite ability. And that showcased itself not as often as the other quarterbacks, but it did at times. Watch right here. So this is a nice little creative set. They're going to use 2 tight ends and a running back on this side. And what does that do? It's going to distinguish whether Purdue is in man coverage. So when you've got linebackers on the backs and tight ends, you know it's man because you've got corners up here. So now he knows he's got singled up man coverage with a safety like way back here in Bermuda. I mean, this dude is way deep here. They love to run man coverage. So what does he have? He's got the slot fade to Roman Wilson. It's an empty set. They didn't do this a ton, but this is straight drop back pass. And what does he do? Bam, back shoulder. In a lot of ways, it's very similar to what Michael Penix did with Rome Odunze against Michigan State. And yet we don't rave about J.J. McCarthy's ability to pass the ball like we do with Michael Penix, but it's there. They just didn't do it all the time. If Penix was asked to throw the ball drop back pass 20, 25 times, straight drop back with no play action, McCarthy did it maybe like 6 or 7 times a game. But it's there. If you're watching for it, it's there. And this is why he's gaining some speed in the lead up to the draft. And then this is really where it shows up. When you get to 3rd down, he's got an incredible ability to create. So the cut-ups when he moves the chains, him leaving the pocket, finding guys down the field, it's really fantastic. That was a great one against Purdue. He would do it again here against Indiana as we move on. He can make the offense right even when the defense is making a play. So the defense does everything correct here. And in fact, the offensive line in the back, they kind of blow the protection. Indiana's going to create a little stunt on this on the offense's left side, and they get a free rusher. Watch McCarthy just, boom, he's out of the pocket. Now we're creating. Okay, what are we doing? Well, we're going to point at our tight end. Why? Tight end's in man coverage. Point him deep. That puts the defender in a predicament. Now the defender is going to have to say, am I going to go with the tight end or am I going to come up and defend the run because McCarthy can run? There's the chains. It's 3rd down. It's 3rd and 10. McCarthy says he can run. So guess what? Defender's going to have to say, you know what? I'm going to come up and defend the run. And what does McCarthy do? He just dumps it over the top. Shoop. That's creativity. So that's what you see when you turn on the tape and you watch him on 3rd down. He's constantly moving the chains and putting the defense in a predicament, in a bind with his athleticism, with his creativity. Then you've also got his unabashed confidence. And this kid is confident now. J.J. McCarthy is confident. That showed up against Ohio State. Watch this throw he makes against Ohio State to Roman Wilson for a touchdown. He gets man coverage with a robber. Malik Hartford, a true freshman safety, is a robber. He's sitting here and he's just reading J.J. McCarthy. So McCarthy immediately sees the coverage and he knows that Roman Wilson is going to come across the field. So he wants to throw this one-on-one but doesn't like it. He doesn't like the coverage and the leverage. So he comes back with a robber and has told me, I saw the robber turn his head and so I threw it right at him. And I'm like, this is wild. He throws it right at the robber, down the barrel. And this throw ends up being a touchdown, which blows my mind. Look at that window. There is no window there. No window there. And Roman Wilson is able to catch that ball, dive for the goal line, and it's a touchdown for Michigan. It was ruled a touchdown for Michigan, and it stood. I tell you, man, that takes some serious confidence. And he has that. And that's why he's my number 5 quarterback. I think he's going to succeed, and I'll be shocked if he's not drafted in the top 10. Now, Penix, is he going to get drafted in the top 10? I'm not sure. I doubt it. McCarthy's probably got more momentum than that. I think those can be kind of interchangeable. In fact, in my top 50 list, I have J.J. at 5 and Penix, or excuse me, at 4 and Penix at 5. So to me, those have been kind of, different styles of player, and I think each of them can succeed. Now, there's one guy that's not up here that I also think is going to be a first-round talent. That's Bo Nix from Oregon. I think there's going to be 6 guys drafted as quarterbacks in the first round of this draft, and Bo Nix is going to be the 6th. I think he fits perfectly with the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton. If they draft him, I think that's a fit that could produce wins, success early in his career. Let me show you why. If you look at what he does, you see a guy that's very cerebral in nature. So he knows what's going on. So this one, it might not, it's like, oh, it's just a one-on-one with Troy Franklin. By the way, Troy Franklin is the elite player. But what I want you to see is like the point guard nature of this, okay? So he gives a little bit of a fake, and now he's reading out this one-on-one, and it's a double move. So he can see like, okay, this ball either is going to go down the field or I can read it out, and what do I do? Throw it on the back shoulder. And he makes that decision quickly, and he throws it on the back shoulder. Troy Franklin stops, and boom, it's a huge play for Oregon. But constantly when you're evaluating Bo Nix, what you see is that this guy makes quick decisions, and the ball comes out of his hand with accuracy, and that point guard style of play fits a guy like Sean Payton, which is exactly what they utilized with Drew Brees. It would go on. And this guy continued to make these types of throws and plays, and he would use his mind. Here he's got an empty set right here, and watch him. He says, okay, I know this defense right here. He points out, now the wide receiver knows what's going on. Now the offensive lineman knows what's going on. He can change the protection. He knows what's happening on the field, and he's going to be able to exploit the area that the defense leaves open. So he communicated to his team because of his cerebral nature, and now, regardless of what happens on the defense, watch how quickly the ball can come out because he knows what he's looking at. Boom, back foot, ball out, 1.8 seconds. This is exactly what Russell Wilson did not do for Sean Payton at Denver. This is why it was oil and water with the Broncos. This is why it would be such a great fit in Denver with Sean Payton, because the guy wants to get the ball out of his hands very quickly. He knows where to go with it. It's accurate. He knows what he's seeing, and he can distribute the football. I really love Bo Nix, and this play, in a lot of ways, can epitomize that as well. It's always, for me, about the quarterback's ability to understand what he's seeing. How do I make a decision pre-snap, evaluate that decision post-snap, and make a play? So he's got 3 over 2 on this, what I would call the short side, which means what? I've got 3 over 3 on the top side, my strength side. So we've got a couple of blitzers here for Utah. So where does the football go? Well, he never goes to the 3 over 3 side. So what does he do? He throws the 3 over 2. So now he goes 3 over 3. He knows the defender has flat feet at the 35-yard line, and this ball is ripped into the hole right there perfectly for Franklin. That's just an example of him understanding what he's looking at. Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.